Well, hopefully I don't get any notifications. I've tried to do this video a couple of times now. So basically I'm just screen recording my phone. Today we're talking about Navionics. Navionics is an app I use for when I'm out of my SIB, out of my inflatable, when I'm fishing on fishing boats, if I'm out with friends, whatever. We use it to look at marks for shore fishing as well. It's a great app. It is a great app. So it's used by people all over the world. This is the app. I've subscribed to it. For my phone, it's 35 quid. For boats and things like that, it's a lot more. A hell of a lot more. Well, you can see last time I was on it, I was looking at Seaford, where we do a bit of place fishing, where me and Kev was actually out on the boat. Let's move it out a bit more. So, I'll just zoom out, show you the whole country. And everywhere you can see that's white is maps that I have got. So everywhere that's white on the inside, the grey outline, is maps that I've got. You can see where I'm based. I'm the red dot. I am the red dot, without getting too close. Right, let's look somewhere pretty famous. Right, let's start off with Dungeness. So this is what you see. All these little lines. See that there's a wreck. Shows up as a wreck. All the numbers is the depth of water in meters, and all of this is recorded at low water. So where my little marker is 32 meters at low water. Now we're getting into the new shading app, which is it's fantastic. The detail this shows is absolutely amazing. So you can see all the gullies, you can see all the contours of the seabed, and then the red is. The darker red will be areas that uncover completely at low water. So that you'd run aground, for instance, if you was on a boat. So here we are looking, well, there's Dungeness Power Station. There's Dungeness Power Station. So this is all sort of like the western side of Dungeness, if you like. So there, I mean, if you was fishing off the beach there, I'm doing this for beach angling as well, not just the boats. Another notification, sorry. And we can do the measurements as well. So that is the beach at low water. So that's 200 and... Yeah, let's put it on there. Hang on. Let's get a bit closer. Casting distance. An average cast, I say 60, 70, 80 yards. Which I would say 300 foot is 100 metres, give or take. Give or take. It's not an expert. So that where my marker is there. Zoom in a bit more to this bit of rough ground just off Dungeness. If you've got a good cast at low water, there's probably the low water mark there, 188 foot. Most people, I would say, will probably near enough beyond that. Nice bit of rough ground, could hold a few fish. It's a feature. Whereas, let me zoom out. If you look along the rest of the beach here, it's pretty featureless. Oh, there's a little something there. That's a little mark of some sorts. I'm not sure what it could be. Obviously, as you progress, all these little lines, these wiggly lines, all the contours, and that's just slowly sloping off into the deeper water. And then when you get it down into the deeper water, it just shows so much more detail. So here's Rex. So that mark there is, well, that's the exact location. It's longitude and latitude. Let's get off of that. So that wreck marker's there, but clearly that's the wreck. You can see quite clearly that is the shape of a boat. The depth area, as it says there, was 20 to 30 metres. I've lost it now. Let me zoom back out. 20 to 30 metres. This is not forgetting, folks. This is all on a mobile phone. I'm literally talking into my phone while showing you this video. Some of the wrecks there, look, have even got names. So the SS Millbank, which I don't know anything about it, but I bet if you googled that, you could find out a little bit about it. It's probably like most of the other ships in the English Channel, probably from World War II, World War I and World War II. Here we go. See these lines here. So we've got a depth area of 30 metres there, and then 30 to 40 metres. So that is a nice bank. Things like flatfish, I would imagine, sit on those type of banks. It's pretty big. Let's measure it, see how big it is. So you put your distance on there, one side to the other, for instance. That's nearly a mile long, that bank. It's 0. Well, hang on. Well, it probably is a mile long. Yeah, look, a mile long. Nautical mile, I don't know what that is. But that's the sort of bank you wouldn't mind drifting along for place and maybe turbot. Again, guys, I haven't got a clue. I really don't know what's there. And I'm pretty certain this pink line is the shipping lane, so you'd be pretty close to the shipping lane. Again, I'm not 100% sure on that, actually. But yeah, let me just show you another mark that that I knew off of the Goodwin Sands. So there's the Goodwin Sands. It clearly marks it out. Look, there's the Goodwin Sands. You see, the red would, well, it'd be some parts of it on a big tide would uncover at low water. I just want to show you that I found a bit the other day. Look at the concentration of wrecks just in that area there. It's as if there was a battle that went on in that area. But when you zoom in and you take a closer look at these wrecks, you really can see. You can see there were ships. So that one looks like it's broken in half. You can see the sand, the seabed has built up around it with the shape of the tide, like a snowdrift, if you like. There's another wreck. There's another one that is in two pieces. Yeah, particularly sensitive sea area. Mandatory tank. If it's a particularly sensitive sea area, that means it's probably something like a sea grave. So it's probably not allowed to be fished. But there's clearly another wreck, and you can see where the sand has built up around it. Again, this is an app. This is showing you pictures from under the sea. For a mobile phone, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it was 35 quid, but... And don't get me wrong, I definitely don't work for Navionics. God, bloody hell, I wish I did. But the detail, I think, is amazing. It really is amazing. Now, I've got a friend who's a skipper, and a lot of people would know him. He runs Peganina, and he thinks apps like this ruin his business, which... I do get where he's coming from, because now anyone with a boat and an app on a mobile phone for 35 quid can go out and see the edges. Look at this edge of this bank that I'm running up, look. The edge of the Goodwin, and it just drops off back down into the deeper water, 20 to 30 metres. Whereas here, it's 6 metres to 20, you know, it's crazy. I can see why Ant is annoyed at things like this and other skippers. Because like I said, this is 35 quid. I can go and see all the wrecks, find out a bit of information on them. Lovely. Whereas Ant has got a boat that's probably worth 30 grand, and then he's got 10 to 15 grand's worth of equipment on his boat that is for this sort of stuff. And he spent years and years of his life going to sea and learning these marks, where basically this is just giving it all to you. So yeah, I do understand. But another thing is, these things are always going to come out. You know, these things are always going to come out. And ruin it. So I'm just going to zoom out a minute. So I just want to take you to a little spot that I fish at Chelsea, which is a bit further around on the south coast. It's Brighton. Let me just quickly show you Brighton. So you've got Brighton Marina, which you've all seen me fish 1,000,001 times for the place. So let's just wait till it just loads. And this is my favourite part. So just round the bend, Bay 20 is probably about there. So bay 20 to 30 is probably about there. We all fish this bit here. This bit here that I'm sort of circling. This is the area for the place, and it's fantastic. You've all seen me catch loads and loads of place. The reason that the areas, the peg 1 to, I don't know, about 14 is so snaggy is because this is all rough ground. Look, it's all rough ground. Another good thing about this app is, again, it's a bit of a cheat. But other people do mark their fishing spot. Like that red dot there. No, it's not a fishing mark, is it? It's a diving reef. So when I zoom out, that goes to a little red dot. You have to be quite close to see these little red dots. But yeah, so I can go on that. It's a diving reef. Click on the information and it gives you absolutely everything. And I can even boat to it. I can even set up there's a button there that says boat to. It's a fantastic app. It's brilliant. Let's come back out a minute. Right, let's move further along from Brighton. Again, Brighton has got loads and loads of wrecks and things and reefs. It's lovely. This is Shoreham Harbour, where we've come out of here on the Sibs. It's not really much around here, I don't think. I looked last time and I didn't really find much before I had this shading relief app. Mind you, there's a marker there. That's just marking a buoy though. This is marking a wreck. Not that I can see anything there. Well, the wreck's there. Look, there's the wreck. So sometimes it can be a little bit out. I mean, that's probably 50 or 60 metres. Let me move further along to Chelsea Bill. Sorry if you can hear the football in the background. I'm watching Liverpool have Aston Villa, and it's just gone 1-1. And Aston Villa have literally got their kids out. They've still got nappies on some of them. Right. So this is where I like to fish. I love Chelsea. I had my tope here. I've had plenty of hounds. Oh, I've had loads of fish here, absolutely loads. But look at the shape of that land. It is unbelievable. So here, this is a special place called the Mixon. I've even got a mark there myself because I like to fish here, just because it just amazes me. So as I said earlier, the darker red rocks says their depth contour 0 meters. So that comes out of the water. When at low water, this is shown. There is a great big pile of rocks here, and then it is an instant sheer drop down. Oh, I have to excuse my marker. It is a sheer drop to 20 to 30 meters deep. It is like a cliff in the sea, literally like a cliff. It's not sort of grading down into it, gently, gradually sloping into a hole. It is just a dirty, great drop. Look, and it's even called the hole. I've got a marker here. I don't need it. I know where it is. It's signposted by a big pole. This orange and black thing here is a great big pole that sticks out there. And I've been there, fished there loads of times, caught loads of fish. Everybody that fishes down that way knows about the hole. You can't really miss it. When the tide runs sort of left to right on these rocks, left to right, right to left, it creates a big, like a big flow. And it sort of, even on the calmest of days, it can really kick the water up. And give it some really good push. Another place I like to fish here, there's 2 wreck markers. I like to fish. There's no wreck. I can't see a wreck. I can't even see anything on a fish finder because I've been backwards and forwards over it. But this bit here, I like to fish. Reason being, the tide will come up and over these banks, dip down into this deeper hole. Again, it's only 4 meters, 4 to 6 meters. It's not very deep at all. But then it'll have to kick back up. Food and stuff washed off the top of this rougher ground will get washed into this gully. Therefore, it will bring the fish. There's loads and loads of other places. I haven't had time to explore it all, to be honest. I've only done it a handful of times, but here it looks good as well. There's another little hole, but literally, see, 8 meters down in 18, 20 meters. Again, it will collect things like food and stuff like that. Here's another bank. They call the Boulder Bank, which is quite famous. A few people talk about it on their YouTube videos, actually. People like Graham, what's his name? Totally Awesome Fishing. You all must know Graham. So there's another bank that's worth fishing near. And then you've got the Streets, which is over here, another famous place, and there's another place down here called Hounds, or the Hounds, which again, but don't get me wrong, the south coast into the Solent then, this will go into the Solent here. The Isle of Wight should be just somewhere over here. Yeah, there's the Isle of Wight. And it just gets ridiculous. And then round here, off the back of the Isle of Wight, where they go for the sharks, the water gets deep. Really deep, sort of 50 metres there. Hopefully that will load. I might not have that bit of map. It's not loading. But yeah, it gets bloody deep, basically. Here she goes. Look how rough it is off the back of the Isle of Wight. It looks like a tackle graveyard, doesn't it? But I bet there's some fantastic fish lurking around. Even this time of year when it's freezing cold. Just look at the contours, it's crazy. The banks. St Catherine's deep, 60 metres. Now, for the UK, anyone that's watching in other countries, maybe you might be from watching in Australia and watching in the USA, 60 metres in our waters is deep. 40 metres is deep. I know places like Norway and that is 500-600 metres deep. It's ridiculous, but yeah. So here we go into the Solent, and even in the Solent, look, there's loads of places to fish. Nice big banks on the sides of the shipping lanes. You have obviously got to be careful, guys. You can't just mitch up a boat anywhere you want. But right, so another reason I do like this app is you can see the shoreline. So like right there, what is that there? San as an obstruction. That's casting distance for most people. Alright, it's pretty the same along most of the shoreline. But there will be places like Chisel, for instance. Chisel's, where is Chisel? Chisel's further this way. Hopefully he's still watching. No, I don't want that. No, don't want that, that's it. So this is Chisel Beach. From one end there, right down to Weymouth into the bay. So, now Chisel, from this distance, Chisel looks pretty similar all the way along. Slopes off to deep water, as everybody knows. But when you come down into the cove end, so if you come down the sort of ferry bridge end, not ferry bridge, sorry, the cove, all very, very rough ground here, down onto Weymouth. And then as you move further along, you got the there's a wreck here, and it is called the I can't think. It tells me in a minute. The Royal Adelaide. Again, people say, oh, it's here. Oh, look, so there's a fishing mark there, Chisel Beach landing craft. So you can click on that, and it'll give you a little bit of information. Maybe you see, it says it's fishing or diving hotspot, fishing spot, value of sounding 0 meters, Chisel Beach, landing craft wreck information. Yeah, somebody had a the 13th of the 10th, 2016 to the 13th of October at around 9 p.m. on an outgoing tide, a 12-pound smooth hound on squid. I mean, okay, it doesn't really tell you much. That's not telling people to head to Chisel on the 13th of October and put on squid. It's really not. But it's just, it's a little bit of information in it. It just goes to show. Now, on that side of the water, there's loads and loads of little mooring facilities. So clever. So there's an app. There's the thing, and that wreck is close to shore. I think it's about 150 meters. I think it was worked at. It's about 100 meters. So you could hit that, and you can just see the wreck there underneath. Again, it's not that clear. It's not HD, but it's bloody good enough for a phone. And then, as you can see, as we move up the beach, it all looks pretty similar. There's a few little nips and dips and gullies and bits and bobs, but nothing in particular. So another thing is, with this sort of app, when somebody says, oh yeah, you've got to fish that mark, that bit of the beach over there, because there's a gully that sticks out. A lot of these gullies that people have made up and heard over the years are not actually true. Because as you can clearly see, there's not always gullies there. A lot of it is just the same all the way along. No difference. No difference at all. The only thing that would make it different that you might not be able to see, whether there be like a shellfish bed, like a mussel bed or something in that area. But yeah, it's all pretty much the same all the way along Chisel from the cove, apart from Adelaide. Now, that changes a bit there. So the ground there is a bit knobbly-bobbly, if you like. And then as you get up to here, now this is Dragon's Teeth territory right there, where a lot of people like to go for the cod. And I know it's Dragon's Teeth because they're just off the corner of the fleet, and this is the last bit of the fleet where the bird sanctuary is. So that's there. Now you can see that ground changes, and I don't know if that's my phone or if that's the actual bottom. That looks like sand to me, whereas this looks more like pebbles, or it's just a little bit rougher. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, look, there's Abbotsbury car park. So there's Dragon's Teeth there. Well, I didn't know that. I've never noticed that myself. Now don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind getting out on a boat on Chisel, but I wouldn't want to be landing up and down on the beach. Then you've got West Bexington. Anyway, I will probably stop this now because it's probably getting a bit boring for some people. But yeah, so this is the Navionics app. I think it's just called Navionics Boating. It is well worth a look. If you're into things like this, even if you don't go out on the boats, it's just good. I think it's bloody interesting. Like when you look at marks like this, these long lines here, these look like nets just gone past and made these, which we did see. I did see some pictures actually the other week. I was looking through something, or I was looking through here, and it did look like, literally looked like a net had just gone through it and just sort of made a nice line. Bringing it back round more to where I live, places like the River Medway and stuff, it don't really show anything. It just shows it all like this, because all this just, yeah, it just shows like the original maps. You don't have to use a shading relief. You can do this and you can go on the layers and you can get rid of shading relief, and you can go on the satellite and select the sonar chart. So then you come off that and then you get it like this. So you get satellite. If it wants to load, it's struggling. And then literally you just get the depths and the contours. Mind you, if I get off the satellite, take this, no overlay, go on sonar chart, because sonar's the best chart other than the shading. And there you go. So the blue is the shallow water, white is the deepest water, and then you should show green. So anything green will be land, basically, at low water. This is all low tide, this is all land, this will all be mud, sand, whatever it may be. And then look, even out in the sea, you get, on the biggest low tides, you will get little islands that you don't always see. Where are we? See all of this, all up the Essex coast, It's all mud and sand. Your middle deep there, again, sand, mud, whatever it be made up of. But yeah, so that is Navionics. Let me come off that. Okay. And it is that Navionics boating app. Yeah. Right. Well, thank you for watching. It's not been a conventional video, but it's just something that I like to use, something I like to do, and I thought, well, you guys might be interested as well. So, yeah. In a bit.